What makes Skyblock fun is the grinding. You can always grind without any external help, but at a certain point in the game, it eventually becomes too slow to progress with the increasing amount of time and effort. But with the power of Godsplash or God Potion as they call it nowadays, it provides a faster way of grinding in literally every aspect of the game. Well, most of it anyways. Today we will talk about the history of Godsplash and see how it went from the essential of Skyblock gameplay to nothing. Before learning about history of Godsplash, of course I'm gonna talk about Godsplash itself. Godsplash used to be a big thing in Skyblock. It was a set of potions that gives you various effects that helps you play the game, such as speed, damage, and skill XPs. They usually cost about 200k per round of splash, which lasts for 1 hour. The material used to make Godsplashes back then cost about 2 million coins a set. So if you get 20 people in your party, you should be fine. The way people will do Godsplashes is they get a group of people, they get that group of people into a certain place in the crowd, and you just throw the splash potions at them, and all of them will get the effect. However, some of the people are not really nice, so they just block the potion, making it impossible for everyone else to get the effect, which is really annoying. Skyblock back in the days is really different from the Skyblock that we quote-unquote love and used to nowadays. Because back then there's only a few things to do in the game, like collections, just playing casually. So obviously Godsplash didn't exist back then, or at least the one that we are used to, because of the 3 potion limits at the time, and people haven't discovered a workaround 3 pot limit. Then people just use strength potion, archery potion, and crit potion, and that's about it. But those things changed when the end update came out on the August 2nd, 2019. Saying that this update changed the game would be an understatement. It introduced carpentry, rune crafting skill, along with summer cosmetic and perfect armor. But most importantly, changes such as slime launcher will now say travel to instead of warp to, and also buff brood mother health from 1.4k to 6k, increase its lifespan by 1 second. But yeah, all jokes aside, this is one of the largest updates in Skyblock because it added so many things to the game, like dragons, new endgame stuff. It also changed combat aspect of the game, because back then there's just magma boss and that's it. Nowadays you got dragons, the watcher, the enderman, the zealots, and also obsidian defender, but they didn't work back then. Also, talisman are now in high demand, and better swords and AoTE is a necessity to kill anything on the end island. One of the key part of this island is the summoning eye, because you need them to spawn dragons, and there's a lot of demand for them. So a lot of people started grinding summoning eyes, and it turns the end island to be a big competition, whether if it's about speed or damage on the dragons. So a lot of people started looking for a way to boost their damage, and they have found something. Back in December, there used to be a guild called Meteor, which is a dragon-based guild. So the important thing was, FEF, or back then it was called Meteor, did a lot of dragons. And why am I also mentioning this? Because FEF or Flexing Chimps are most likely the first guild to do Godsplashes. The earliest proof of Godsplash existence that I could find is from a menacing banana stream on the 7th of December 2019. However, there's no skill potions to speak of, which is kind of surprising because they keep not having skill potions until early February, which is kind of weird considering that Jerry Workshop has been around since mid-December. Oh, by the way, if you want to check out the history of Meteor or FEF, you can watch the video that Menacing Banana made. Anyways, it has been a smooth sailing for a lot of people. Most of the endgame guild are created to recruit many of the best players in the community, rewarding the player that join with Godsplashes. There were groups of people who don't want to join the guild just to get the splash, and they were waiting for another solution. A player named Voxia, along with his friend Fable, brewed splashes for FEF or FC. But since there were a lot of free space, they created a Discord called Splashcord for people to get in and get those juicy free splashes. However, Voxia didn't create the first ever Splashcord server. That title belongs to a player named Roguestab, which he used to host a splash server. But things went south after he used that server to scam people. Splashcord was a free entry at first, but Voxia and his friends decided to make it a subscription with a low price of 2 million coins a week, or at least that's the subscription before the thing closed. If you pay for the subscription, you will be able to access Godsplashes on the hourly basis, making it so much easier to get Godsplashes and get back into the grind. Voxia and his peers were making at most 200 mil a day during his prime, but usually something lower. Keep that in mind. 200 mil on the first or second quarter of 2020 in Skyblock, that's quite a lot. A lot of servers pop up with the same idea in mind, such as Ball Splash, Astro Splash, and many more. This is a time when Godsplash is essential to play the game. It was all fine and good until something happened to Splash Code. On May of 2020, the long-awaited Dungeons update finally came out on the alpha server. So a lot of people just do dungeons just to test it out, but people didn't realize how it's going to affect the Godsplash economy. 2 months later, Dungeon finally came out on the official server, but 4 days later, on 11th of July, Voxed announced that he's going to be closing down his Splash Card server. He had been losing money, 800 million coins in total. And a part of this announcement reveals a DM from Simon himself. Quote, "Whatever the reason is, I'll have to stop this Splash ship system if it causes troubles." Voxed also announced that he's going to be changing his Splash Card server into a dungeon-based Discord. After this point, a lot of Splash server has been closing down. A lot of people in the Splash economy just gave up on everything. But there's one Splasher who just want to get that last droplet of milk from the dying cow, and that man is 2NFG, the owner of Ball Splash. In this part of the announcement is a good news to 2NFG because Voxel later plugged his server as a new go-to Splash server, bringing new customer and cash to a 2NFG bank. Back then, on the 4.1, 2, 3, dungeons is not really that fun to play, so not a lot of people were doing dungeons, causing splashing profit to go down a little bit. It's most likely because in dungeons, you can't use God Splashes, but it didn't really affect 2NFG and his peers, so they didn't really care. But that also didn't last long. On the 8th of September 2020, 2 months later, Hypixel introduced a new big update to Skyblock, the Community Center update. In this update, they introduced Meteors, basically an in-game event selector for the entire community to vote, and also bits, which you can gain by playing the game while having the cookie buff and the bits available to it. You can also buy a lot of cool stuff with bits, but one of the items is a God Potion, 24 hours of all buff package in one item, with no need to go to Splash anymore and waste time. At first, people thought that bits are going to be quite expensive and Splash services will be able to live. Oh boy were they wrong, and that was the final nail to the coffin of the Splash economy. Good night to NFC. So the conclusion is, I think the Splash system can be abused to IO trades. For example, Astro Splash did it at one point where you have a nitro boost on the server and you will get like 3 days subscription of it. I don't know. That's what I heard from back in the days. So it could be easily abused by IO traders as well. So I think that's why Hypixel mostly removed it, and honestly that's just my opinion. So yeah, because I don't feel like Hypixel would want to get rid of God Splash in general, because you know they added God Potion. It will slow the game down by so much more if there's no God Splash. So I think they just move it just in case people are going to like abuse it for IO tradings and stuff. And so thank you to Voxia and to an FG and a bunch of people who I've talked to for the information. If you know who you are, alright. So you have made this video possible. So thank you very much. We have made it to the end of this video. Yeah, sorry for not uploading for almost a month now. It's mostly because I've been grinding Skyblock lately, and originally this video was planned to release in October last year. And as you can see, it's almost February now. So it's quite a delay, but I'm done with it now finally. Exciting, right? So I've been enjoying Skyblock and watching, you know, I'll just show the picture, right? If you know, you know, alright. I hope you're enjoying the video. And also, I also stream on Twitch. Make sure to check my Twitch out, I guess. I want to get the affiliate. I don't know, I just kind of want to get a channel point thing so I can do cool stuff with it. But yeah, I'm trying to get it right now. And I guess you can help. Also join my Discord server. It's kind of lonely. I need friends. Just please join. Please!